Hello? Hello? Yay, there we are. There we are. I think, right? I think, right? Yes. Okay. I put a, first of all, I put a gate on my microphone. I don't know if there's people already here. It might be a little bit strong, the gate. Maybe I want this a bit longer. Go like this. And a little bit attack. Hello, my Logify. I hope that the gate is now sounding better. I hope my microphone now sounds good. I got a little bit of an comment about the microphone that I should put a gate on it to remove some of the noise that's in here. That's what I did. It's good? Nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to again try Bitwig, and I want to experiment a little bit more with it, and I want to do so in a way that I might actually use in a production. So what we're doing is we're just looking through Bitwig itself, and I'm going to act as if I'm actually producing a track. The reason that I say that we're going to act like that is because this is still the demo mode, which means that I cannot actually save this if I wanted to. So this is just like a little experiment. No background. Nice, nice, nice. That's great. Okay, so let's see. When I want to start with a kick and bass. So I'm just going to go through my samples here, I guess. I have no idea what I want to make, to be honest. My sample. Go through one of my kicks. There's a way to automatically play it, right? This, yeah. I hope volumes are okay. Of the desktop as well. Here we go with aggressive kick like this. I want to lengthen it. No, actually I want to set a BPM. Let's go for a nice, fast, maybe 180 BPM. Doing a little bit of high tech again. And is I shorten this. And then I want to consolidate this, I think. Yeah, that makes a new longer clip. Then Control D duplicates. Perfect. Again, and now we have 4 bars of kick. We can add a bass line. I want to make a MIDI clip, not this. Control J makes a clip right here. Okay. Higher. Hello, Mindbee. How are you doing? Velocity. Oh, it tells you actually how much changes. Does it already? No. Just as I expected, because serum. That's not what myself. And then I want to I'm going for something like rather dark. I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Okay, this sounds very, very floppy to me now. I want volume curve here. This velocity. And then I want to use M freeform. Doesn't find like this. M base. For my processing, I go up, down like this. High quality, for the highest quality. Base is very low. Master volume. Yep. Is there a way that I can use size scope? What I want to have is, I think, 2 tracks. One takes from the kick, one takes from the bass. We set input post here. I hope I'm doing this right. Here I want the bass. Right. Okay, so that's actually giving us output. We don't want output, and this one needs audio. Right. I don't know if anybody who knows Bitwig is in here. Why does my... Oh no, we need to go to audio 3, sorry. And this also. Oh lol, minus 10. I don't want that. Oh yeah, it's triple click. Everything to 0 for now. It's gonna be maybe a bit loud. Yeah, that's very loud. Let's set this to minus 8. And then we want the bass to peak at 0 now. So for that I can let's use free clipper. Just clip it ever so slightly. Keep it at 0 so that we can easily see where it clips. Now on hard clip, up the gain. Something like this. Obviously that's way too loud right now, so we are going to set this minus 10, minus 9. Okay, which means that we have our kick and bass, and that means that I want to group these and close the group and make this smaller, or like move it up first of all. To be honest, I would like this to be smaller if that's possible. Because I think with the synths that we're going to be adding, we're going to take up a lot of space. There is this mode. Let's keep it like this. This is it. Oh no, because you can't see the samples like. There's no way to do it to individual tracks, right? If I remember correctly, like make this bigger but not small. I think that's the case. Let's just start then with synths. Maybe I want to do something like foresty, maybe? Self-resonate. Keyboard. Is there a keyboard to play sound, to test it? Computer keyboard. There we are. Okay. Why does it stop resonating? I don't know. It is a cool sound though. A little bit of pluckiness to it. I like that kind. Oh, okay, so that makes it. Can I see what note I'm playing? There. Doesn't really matter, I. And loop it. Oh yeah, that's the case. You lower it below to loop. Do that with. I think that's a good thing to do because then it remains one clip. You can exactly keep it the length that you want. I don't know if I want it everywhere. Experiment with that. First, let's add some effects to. Okay. Actually, you know what? I want to test delay from Bitwig. Plus, I think. Hello, Cider. Wrong. Okay, so not with that. I would rather have an actual reverb. That sounds pretty nice. What's this builder parameter? Does it not give you a description? I don't know. Are there any Bitwig users in the chat that are able to help me today? What does this? I find manual. Factor pen. Tooltips. Show item help. Ah, here we are. How smoothly the discrete reflections are distributed. Interesting. I actually want to do something here. I want this lower and I want to test out a bit of automation. Bitwig again. Yes, yes, yes. Trying out Bitwig again. So I want to automate this. If I go here, add automation. Right? Delete automation. Where is the automation? I cannot get into it as an audience no matter how skillful you are. Is it too dark? For me, it actually, because I'm in a dark room maybe, right? And also it helps with the lighting, because with this brighter, I get more light in my face, which I mean, I need to compensate a little bit, which is what I've done. You can see it on the stream. It's a little bit, like my face is a little bit darker than I would usually have it with Ableton. try the new FL Studio demo on stream sometimes. I mean, it's not as interesting for me as Bitwig because I've actually used FL Studio for almost 3 years before I used Ableton. So I know FL Studio. Maybe not the last few like elements and stuff like that, but I've gone pretty deep into FL Studio itself. Like the workflow. This is interesting because it's completely new to me. But I maybe can give it a try. There's some new exciting devices like their new reverb, and they have some kind of delay element where you have like 16 lines. Maybe it's also fun with Bitwig because then we are more part of the learning journey. Yeah, there's a lot of people in here that actually use Bitwig, I think. Maybe not now. But if there's anyone, please tell me where I can find my automation clips. Here, is it? Ah, there. Okay. Can I make a lane, please? Fan? Oh, that's... Oh no, I just want normal dots. Do I have to... One... Here there's a few dots. How many did I make? 4. Okay, I want 3. Just having it like go up and then down. Let's add a quick EQ to this. With multiply and add automations that can have different lengths. Wait, quickly here. With this plus, I just want to check how... Ah, if you double click it just makes 1 point. Okay, that's nice to know. Great to know. We can look into those factors later, the different ways of automation. Oh, it automatically makes listen to the band. Can I stop that? If I edit the band? I have trouble listening to high tech, but the sound design is always interesting. I'm looking to maybe make a little bit more of a forest, like a fast forest track today. There's some mixing and EQ things that we might need to get in there. Automation is visible both in Arranger and Clip Editor. Okay. Oh. Can I make it so that it doesn't listen to me? Now it's off. Okay. I want to make a little bit of a pattern in table now. Mute. There's shortcut for mute. I'm old, that's why. Too much BPM. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit fast, I understand. There's no shortcut for muting. That's annoying. Maybe not fast enough. Well, I've done high tech for the last challenge. I want to go explore some different areas here. That's a with like the band pass. Total can I? Okay, so there's a cool trick we can do. Randomize. Game randomization. Oh, and then we need to modulate. Why, right? That one. I want this the other way. I want them opposing. And then here we want random 1 to go up a little bit. I want a little bit more of an aggressive tone through this. Go pretty aggressive FM, I guess. That's too strong of a decision. I'm gonna go with a I love the point modulation. It's something like an LFO table. The idea is that the filter, every time it plays, makes a little bit of a different movement. Right? So if you can see it's either moving up or down. Let's have this go a little bit over halfway. That's kind of cool. Delay plus on it again. Can I double click? Yes. Shorter, and then I want to okay, let's add a third synth to this. I want to make a little bit of like a soundscape out of this. Hey, we have another. Ah, that's okay. I want to together maybe. Can I see what both are at the same time? Oh. I cannot see its volume. Minus 17.7. Minus 15 point. 14.5 is the actual thing. It's a little bit hard to tell what everything is, how everything is like going on. Let's set you 0 both of them. Hello? Am I still here? I got a notification from OBS that it was disconnecting, but it seems to be all fine. Seeds. Do you need to press enter for everything? Space. That's kind of annoying. Pick. And then this is size scope group. Let's do a little bit of organization. Oh, that's this. That. Not really fast, to be honest. Can I make it so that all of these also become green automatically, or do I have to go in here and select them? Not that that really matters. Okay, let's make some more sounds. I want to, as I said, make a little bit of a soundscape out of this, not just one or two sounds bouncing back and forth. Add another serum. This I'm just go fairly simple, just bandpass. Yes. Have it sweep up and down. Let's go. Nice. Maybe a very slow phaser on there as well. Nice. Guys making a new language or going to a mental gym. In terms of sound design, it's very diverse from anything else that is happening like in the electronic world. Okay. For a bit. Pattern. We have these overlap ever so slightly, but okay. Here as well. Okay. And this, and then we need to do automation. Actually, what I want to do is I want to take all of this and hit it once more. That we can double the length of the automation. So go from 1 to 9. Okay, this. I want this to be stereo. I need to. What is going on? What's happening? Normally it never gives me notifications of this. It just kind of happens. Hello? Now I should be back, hopefully. Right? It's gone back. Yeah, I'm getting notifications now when it happens, which is really strange because I never got that. I don't know why that is. Let's add an audio. This. And then with the pen tool, right? I can just go up and down. Like this. Nice to see a track from scratch for you. Thank you for sharing. No worries. That's what I do. What I want to do now is maybe start with a little bit of an arrangement at this point. I think what I'll do is make a little bit of an intro. I want this here for 32 bars, I guess. We're going to add some more stuff to this later. I also want 6 bars of kick and bass before that. Okay, I want to duplicate this everything here, that I can just make like one offbeat kick. Down to holding shift, yeah, it allows you to be finer. Okay, EQ out a little bit of the transient for the high end. Is there a way? Yeah, okay, so you can make a filter like this and set. Can I set the order? Or is it always going to be a 2 unless I change? Very steep. Let's go for it. Now there's a little bit left. That. Okay. I want some drums in here. Sounds, drums, hi-hats. Add a hi-hat. Have to add it to new track and then in here. I also want to rename this kick. Still. Ooh. A projector, greetings from Greece. Nice, nice. Thank you. Oh man, you have to hit enter for it to recognize your text change, which is a bit annoying. I hope that there was a setting that allowed you to change that. Make you orange. I do like that the window is open. Or stays open, right? It is a little bit of a DAW that you need to get used to. What do you think of Bitwig projector? Near to buy it or not again? Well, that's what we're going to see this stream. In the sense that, do I like it? Do I think that there's some feature in here that is so groundbreaking that I would need to get it in order to make better productions? That would be the question. Try to answer. And last time we did that through experimentation by just looking at like random things. Oh, you can do that. You cannot select an area and then paste it and keep the space. You have to paste it exactly where you want. It's a little bit annoying, but I mean, you could get used to that. Space here. The whole idea today is to see is in the context of actual production, how like is the workflow, how does it work for me? And in those cases, maybe we find something that is interesting. The last time it was maybe a bit too much experimentation focused, because then you just get like the neat little toys that Bitwig have. It isn't an actual representation of how you're actually trying to produce, right? Yeah, there's definitely some benefits, like that, but practically speaking, is that enough of a benefit for me to actually switch into Bitwig? Because there's a lot of things that I don't like about it either. Right? The thing that we Control plus Enter, most important function in Bitwig. What is this? These are all my shortcuts. So much stuff in here. Up until backtrack 40. Action. Back project. Activate. General. So much stuff. So many things that don't have a shortcut either. Arranger marker. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna get confused in this stuff. Can I not click out of this? Or is this for the search? Exit. Okay, that does it. Wait, I still work on one, and for now I don't want to learn at all, but Bitwig seems really good, so yeah, that's what I want to find out, right? Because at the end of the day, I could just buy Bitwig and start using Bitwig. It's not that it's really going to matter with my workflow. I'm still going to be making the same kind of music. But for me, that time that you need to actually learn the software, which realistically, there just is, right? We cannot go about saying that there's not really any like learning curve to the software, but it's going to take you a good few months to get the muscle memory right so that you can actually use it productively, which is what I want to avoid, right? The few months that I'm spending learning the software is months that I'm not at my fastest actually making music. So I can maybe just draw it out, right? How would I draw this? Go 5, is that enough? Yeah. Right now what I've been doing in Ableton is if we have like efficiency over time, right? What you'll find is that it becomes more like this. So this is time. This is efficiency within the software, your ability to get your creative ideas out there in the software. For Ableton, right now I'm here, right? At the top of the efficiency kind of scale. I've been using it for 6 years now, so I know my way around. I have my muscle memory. I have all kinds of different setups, the live enhancement suite, the organization that I've set up. I have all my presets where I know where they want to be. I have all of my sounds neatly organized in folders. I have a whole bunch of different templates, a whole bunch of different tracks that I can just drag in and get to working. All of those things are set up so that I'm at my most efficient possible. Right now with Bitwig, I am here. Maybe a little bit higher. Let's actually say here-ish. Right? I spend a little bit of time with it, but there's also a lot of translatable skills that go from Ableton into Bitwig. And obviously I know my way around workflows because I've been making music for 10 years now. Actually, this month it's a decade that I've been making music. So I have some kind of expectancy where to find things. The problem is that there is a big gap here between this and this, right? This is my skill level right now. This is where it is in Bitwig. So all of this space is like wasted time if I want to get in here, technically. Unless there is something that either speeds up my workflow or makes me more creative, makes me more creative, because there might be things that make you very creative in Bitwig, like the grid system, but that take up so much time that it's not really worth it. So for me, I need to actually find if that time is there, if that makes sense. Hello, Klaus. Nice to see that you're here as well. Don't take it too seriously. Remember, we are all just entertainers and like clowns in a way. Well, I do have, I wouldn't say duty, but I do feel like I am in a position where I'm influencing people with Bitwig. And for the record, if I were to recommend something to somebody, like a DAW to start out with, I would recommend them Bitwig over Ableton right now. There is something to be said about the stability and all of the issues that Ableton has with like plugin delay compensation, sandboxing, all of that stuff. If I were a beginning producer, I would totally start out with Bitwig over Ableton. But with this thing in mind, right, if a beginner producer starts out with Ableton or Bitwig, they're both going to be at this scale because they have not spent any time. What I think is that the Bitwig curve might look a little bit more like this, as in you get earlier into high efficiency territory because you don't have experiences with crashes and plugins just crashing your products or your projects, and the problem with delay compensations aren't there, right? That's all arranged neatly, I think. Let's just check, because I don't remember. Hello, photo. Now, is it going to send me MIDI here from the group as well? I hope not. Or network effect anyway. Bitwig is often more of an advanced taste when you understand more. Yeah, I guess that's true. Bitwig should really market to new users, potentially, because they have some features that are just more interesting for beginners. As I said before, I would rather start with Bitwig knowing what I know now than Ableton. And seeing as the Bitwig team knows that as well, knows that Ableton does have these like lacking features, they could easily market on top of that, and I think they do that. Right? The Bitwig team came from Ableton, and they started Bitwig because they weren't happy with how Ableton was being developed. So they decided to like do it on their own. Like Thanos moment. Let's see if we can get a nice dark clap or snare here. That's nice. Can I extend this? Earlier as well. It doesn't immediately select last bits. I want it again. Area up so neat. And then can I set the gain? Is this the gain of the individual clip? Yeah, nice. I can set this lower as well. Let's actually this on its own channel. There. Alt. Oh my god, I need to get used to this so much that you need to hit enter. And apparently it doesn't register faces either. Projector is the current CEO of high-tech YouTube streaming. I hope that you mean high-tech in the sense of the genre, not the quality of my stream, because I can do better in that department, I would say. Okay. Let's close this. Let's actually organize a little bit. Just group the things that you have selected. Or is that Control G? That's Control G. Okay, let's close this. We have our groups here. external MIDI keyboards and stuff, so it's a rabbit hole. Streaming quality is really breaking up, sadly. You can just hover, you can just mouse hover over the clip itself and adjust the volume there. Okay, that's good to know. Is my quality really that bad? Are there actual issues with the quality? Oh, yes, that's excellent. I do know that sometimes it just completely drops out. There's not really much that I can do about that. Maybe it's locally. I don't know. Let's start with adding some stuff to the intro. I do want to keep on moving, try to see how fast this program is when just getting ideas out there. Let's actually go phase blend on a track. Let's browse some stuff here, paths. Go even lower. Let's oh, that's not perfect. Is that perfectly? Control J for right? That is not. Okay. Let's start here. Why doesn't it allow me to? That's annoying that you have to zoom in for it to become longer. It doesn't do like Ableton where you can paste on top of the notes and then move it up an octave, because it overrides the notes immediately. Hello Greedo, how are you doing? I'm doing well. I just donated 5-10 minutes ago. Did it work? I don't know, nothing came up for me. No, nothing came up. You were active. No new super chats or members yet. Where did you donate through? Strange. There's a few ways to donate. I think there's a please adjust your noise gate, it's too abrupt. Okay. Filters, noise gate. I have 25 milliseconds attack, 150 release. I guess I can half a second of release. I'm making the release longer. I hope that's good enough. Also, I can make the attack longer. Here. Did you use the PayPal donation, the Stream Elements donation, or Super Chat? Because there's 3 different ways. One is for when I'm offline, actually, which is the PayPal, which might be in my description. If that's the case, I'm gonna need to take it out. Oh, that's not the one that's in my description. I know the one that goes on Stream Elements. That one definitely should show up on the screen. Other one is Super Chat. I think it doesn't show up on the screen because my camera is up here, so the actual animation that it normally does is off the screen. But it should still give me a notification and should still give me volume. Stream Elements shows it in there. dashboard. Doesn't give it to me. That's annoying. Well, either thank you, Mindbee. I don't see it right now. It might turn up later in the stream. Maybe Stream Elements is just sleeping. So that's annoying. I literally cannot see your donation, but I'm gonna thank you either way. I'm glad that you're supporting the channel. But it's strange. It should show up at least in like my activity feed. Settings, user interface, contrast. Turn down the sliders all the way for on midtones and black level. I think you'll love that. Let's see. Settings is settings. User. Fast. Down. That might be a bit too dark. Oh, actually, I'll leave it. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. It is fairly dark. Maybe it's hard to see. I don't know if it's good to see now, especially like this part. When it selects, maybe it's hard to read the text here. Tell me before the end and I will retry. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the activity feed. I don't think there's a refresh in here. Okay, either way, let's just continue producing. Let's see if it sounds good if we overlay them. Ooh. That's starting to cause issues with the CPU, I think. Let's duplicate this and freeze it. Can you freeze in here? Is there a way to freeze this track? Bounce and play. Okay, that's nice. If I now disable this, will it actually disable it from the CPU, or is it just like Ableton that it just stops the output but still consumes CPU? Oh, that's actually not the whole thing. Aha. That makes sense. Oh, it's also out. Probably clipping like right here at some points. Yeah, here you can see it's clipping. We need to turn that down. That remove the clip. Ah, no, it burns the clipping. That's not good. Go back then and turn its volume down. It's not 32-bit floats then, internally. Which is a bit of a shame. I thought that that would be the case. You can turn it down significantly so that we're sure that it's not going to clip. There is no freeze. Yeah, bounce. Render to audio. Ability to bounce to multi-sampler with one click. Okay. Because maybe I will not stay until the end of the stream. Okay, just let me know if you have to go, and I'll just periodically check the activity feed if it comes in, or stream elements here if it shows up on my dashboard in the website. What's the difference between bounce in place and just bounce? Will that make a new track? I think that makes a new track, which is not what we want. Actually have to toggle activate. Toggle activate. Okay, so that completely disables it. And it shows it by graying out the volume bar, I guess. Okay, so now we should be able to up again. At least like here-ish. That way we can be sure that it doesn't flip. I cannot play yet until it renders out. Okay, so that's a start. I want to add some effects. Why is it still... Why is there still a faceplant on here? We don't need that anymore now, do we? Is this now a hybrid track? Hybrid track. What is the logo for that? Yeah. This is a hybrid track, which means that the original sound also stays if we wanted to. Which is actually kind of cool. I think that's cool. Because in my normal workflow, I just usually resample to a new track instead of... what you call it? Instead of keeping it in the same track or freezing. I don't like freezing because then you actually lose the information. But that means that you do lose some information in this, or not some information. What you lose is the power of not having this not worry the CPU, because you cannot deactivate it like this in Ableton. It will always calculate the sound coming through, which is a little bit annoying, I guess. Start. What I want to do before this is harmonize it. Harmonizer. All device location. I'm a bit annoyed that it doesn't... that the search is so poor. Maybe that's just me. But to me, if you say harm, it should also find M harmonizer. Because harm is part of that word, right? Let's actually go minor. Start. Maybe a bit too much. Does this have a good audio editing tool? Like if I want this to go up. Yeah, here. Oh, plus 12. How good are the stretch modes? Or the modes? Granular stretching, multi-band granular stretching, slice. Serving spectral stretching. Format control. This is like the what's it called? The complex mode, right? I don't know, this patches a lot of noise. I don't really like it. Let's deactivate this and try with another one. Hard to see where everything. This maybe sounds a lot nicer. Now without this, I can just bounce in place. Because it's just going to keep it in here, right? And it will keep the actual instrument, which is nice. Same algorithms like Ableton. They just have different names. Good way to use the grid is to start converting polymer. That's what we did in the last stream, which is cool. But it doesn't really inspire me to do anything. There's no real inspiration there. Because it's just like a cool novelty. Right? I would like them to be a little bit shorter. I don't know in this plugin if there's a way for that. Like make this a little bit more gated, I guess. What is this? Like that this. I was hoping that there was a way to make this a little bit more staccato, because now it's still against each other, right? It's still completely open. Only when it's like stuttering do you actually hear it. You can set loop length. It has different playback modes, which is... Ah, it needs to... like that. Do I need to make it alternating for it to work properly? That makes no sense. Can do something like this. Alternating like this. Dry wet down a little bit, which creates this cool auto panning effect. Dry wet on here. This is very, very cool. This sounds very nice. A delay on this. Let's see how this goes into pick and base here. Closes very, very quickly. Maybe like this. Ping pong it. Or EQ. You can only go 10 decibels, or can you go more? Please stop doing... Do you hear how it's still taking this, right? Still soloing it. Do you hear how it's still soloing it? Can I make it stop doing that? Toggle off. Now it does it again. When I click on this, it solos it, right? Automatically. I don't want it to do that. Can I make it stop doing that? Strange. We do get this. I want to automate this. Up from 0 to 30. Or maybe even lower, so this will low pass it. Drag the number instead. Okay, that's nice to know. Why is this now not automating? Here. We'll also automate this. And this dry wet. As you can see, I have a very automation lane heavy workflow, actually. I want here. Maybe not all the way to 0. And not all the way. Nice, nice. Also try the expanded view, bottom left of each device. Modulator. Expanded device. Oh yeah, this is the same as in Ableton. You just get like a full screen thing. This just opens the plugin window. The delay doesn't have it. That makes sense. That's nice. Intro pad. Also, you can see the automation bigger if you click on the bottom of the clip. Yeah, I know, you can just open this up, right? Yeah. And you can plus it if you want. That's all the same as in Ableton. Which I guess is nice. Oh. Here I want to add a second type of gate lap, I guess. set this to 30. Ah, the H is going to make it smaller. Yeah, of course. That's cool. We can do something with this. What I want to do is every other beat, right? So from here, go up hundreds and then down again. Can I just duplicate this? By like... Yeah, that works. Exactly what I... Apart from the fact that it doesn't show me where it goes. Up once more. Up here. We might not get to here, but after this I just wanted to go down, so we don't have any of this sound anymore, if we potentially get to here. Yeah, but if you double click on the automation under the volume, you get a different, more advanced view under the selected automation. This. What is this? I can make loops and things. Alt. This correlate. It doesn't correlate with this automation here. Multiply or add automation. Want to stack many automations in the same pattern. You'll have to explain that a little bit better. I'm assuming that means that I can assign multiple parameters to like the same automation lane. Right? Essentially, like if I go here, multiple. No. Pretty advanced for now. Yeah, let's not bother too much. As I said, the whole idea of this stream is just to make actual music and to see how the music sounds actually in Bitwig. Why is this no longer working? Hey. It only works if we... Get a dry wet to 0 and it's still doing. Why? LES solves the browser problem in Ableton. Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I use it for. Can I bounce this and see if this then actually works? thing. No, that doesn't work. That's annoying. Do I have to keep this open for that to work? Maybe that's something with this specific plugin though. Make this clip longer, first of all, so that it captures everything. I want to get to capture the whole thing. Then I want to bounce. Yeah. Seems to work on this one. I don't know if it works on this one. I get stereo. Be able to confirm that. Why is this not in here? Didn't we have an automation for this here? We did, didn't we? We went from like 88 down 15 or to 20. Where did that go? Okay, now that makes sense. Let's actually bounce this pre-fader so that we have the volume. I do like all of the options that you have. That's very, very powerful. Okay, so now we deactivate this and this becomes our row. Bad. Enter. Try real-time bouncing. Sometimes it works better. It does seem to have worked this time, I think. For this I need to check here. Yeah, you can see that there's the little bit of offset that we programmed in here. Gives us this vibe here. Nice low dark vibe. So I guess we can delete this now. That's nice. You can open this up and add some more leads to this. Control T is for instrument track. That's strange. I have an idea for cool instrument, I think. Drive and fatness. Go up and down here. Let's go up an octave. We're in the bass octave. And I just want... Why does it make them half length of my selection? What I want. It does become a lot more intuitive now. Also, I want this to keep its color from group here. Let's set up macro. Okay, so I want to automate you. I want to automate. Now I have the two automate. Oh, no, that's not the one that I want. Filter cutoff. There we are. Macro is actually what we want, sorry. Okay. Actually, I want to set the macro a little bit lower for start. Add a high pass chorus here. That sounds cool. delay plus. Okay. We have mostly high frequencies. That's nice. Plus, make sure that there's no mess down below. There's a bit of a mess. That's nice. We go down again with the same way. Got it on par with Bitwig, but Bitwig's cheaper and better for me. MPE I meant. Yeah, MPE support is actually pretty good in Ableton from what I've heard. I don't ever use it, but it's potentially really cool to, within chords, have different chords slide to different parts, and Serum actually supports that. So maybe that is something that I should look into at some point. Maybe that is something that's actually interesting. But I don't know. Is there a way for this to just take the color of its parent automatically? We need to add. That's actually a bigger clip than it shows in the thing here. Can I just copy over delays like this? Yeah. Modulation is just the thing in Bitwig, you should give it a shot, I think. Yeah, I tried last time, but he already used it. Yeah, Max for Life LFO, so no biggie. Easy to use at the very bottom of devices. I've experimented with it. Steps combined with voice stack and everything, but all in time. Make too much sense for external synths and arrangers. I guess, yeah, that's kind of the point that I wanted to make as well. There's no real selling point for me to say, oh, Bitwig is so much better, that there's something that I can do that I want to do with Bitwig that I'm not able to do with Ableton. There's also some things that confuse me, like the way that you sometimes, like it doesn't select it like area, sometimes it does right away, right? Like if I go here and then select this, it doesn't select the area, you have to go to the lower part. which I think is something that I would need to get used to. No need to buy synths when you have Master Vital. Well, yeah, but for me, when it comes to DAW versus synth, a synth is definitely more inspiring than a DAW, right? This doesn't make me inspired. What it does for me right now is it leaves me worried because my usual projects have way more track than these. And I like to have both some of the waveforms in view, like for example my kick and my bass, and some of the main waveforms that are here, and other tracks be smaller, even smaller than this they are in Ableton. There's a little bit of a strange way that you cannot really do that in Bitwig itself. Maybe there's a way you can, and I just haven't seen it. I mean, you can close the groups, that's already a good beginning, but that doesn't really show you what's going on. Like if I name these, now obviously it's not organized, but if I were to organize this and name them, then it would be really hard to see what's going on in your track when it's like this. Right, also with my drums right now. My drums, I cannot see the exact arrangement unless I open it up like this. Can you extend Bitwig on 2 screens? I don't know. Can you? In Ableton it's Control-Shift-W. Triple display. Does show me something. But I'll do this on a stream at some point. What's the difference between large and small? Okay, large is full screen. Scale it if I want to. Only up. Cannot downscale. Wait, where's my project? Where did my project go? Is it because it's a demo? Recent project, yeah. I closed out of it. Control W closes out of the project without telling you. Demo mode. Okay. Okay. Guess we're back here. It's open? No, it isn't. Because it should be up here. Tab. Oh. Where is it? Check top left. Yeah, no, it isn't here. I create new project and it's not there. Obviously it's not going to be here because this is your save project, and because I'm running demo, it's not a save project. Yeah, it's gone. It has left me. I mean, now is a good time to do a little bit of a break. But that is unfortunate. Obviously, I'm not judging the full software here because my demo did expire. I installed it a long while ago, opened it up, activated, and then never played with it. So now it's just in expired demo mode. Otherwise, you have like 30 days to also export and save and do all that kind of stuff. And I would have been able to just save stuff, and it would probably ask me if I wanted to save before I hit Control W. That's just me not knowing the keyboard shortcuts, right? Demo never expires. Yeah, but yeah, just the saving, that stuff, right? Does it only lock to 8 tracks? I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many tracks do I have? It does seem to be fairly unlimited, the amount of tracks that I have. Oh yeah, but your project gets very, very big like this. It's much more than Ableton. Because as I said, you cannot close these any closer than this. At least you got the screen recording. Yeah, but I don't care about these projects. This is just experimentation, so it's okay, right? as I said before, I'm probably not going to buy or actually get Bitwig, so all of the things that I make in here don't really matter for me. What matters for me is just seeing if there's actually something in there that massively speeds up my workflow. Let's go back to Ableton and make some music. No, so I do want to kind of categorize my stream, so I'm going to stay here. Buying 2 DAWs is never a good idea. You get the same 2 times. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You may see Ableton Live and Reaper down here. Those are 2 different DAWs, which give me not only 2 different capabilities. Ableton is for production, Reaper is for mixing. It also gives you 2 different mindsets, and that's a really powerful trick. I've talked about this in my video on why I use Reaper. Reaper is, at its core, a DAW made for professional mixing, similar to like Pro Tools, right? Ableton, at its core, is made for producers. Bitwig is the same. It's made for production purposes. What that means is that when you look at it, like from your workflow perspective, you're going to be set in a mindset of production when you're in Ableton, and you're going to be set in a mindset of mixing when you're in Reaper. Yeah, there's more people that use multiple DAWs, and I don't blame them, because it's a mindset thing. It allows you to really focus in on what you actually want to do at that specific point in time. Do I have my... Oh yeah, it is here. I can... Here. Play something. Can it show me like the length? Seven minutes. Yeah, that's good enough for a break. I'm going to take a quick break and then I'll be right back. Case. Here. Can I enable looping? Looping is enabled. This needs to go to then. I'm just thinking. I hate the triple click for volume edits. I'm sorry, but it's just not a good system. But losing a project because entering settings doesn't make any sense. I didn't enter settings. I went into the home window. Not this, right? If I click here and open up the settings, it will stay. But if you hit Control W, which I'm not going to do now because I'll lose this again, it's basically a new project. It's always a little work initially. Yeah. It is always, I mean, more than a little work. I've talked about this before. People underestimate how much work it is because a lot of the things that you do in your old DAW is, it's not just getting to know the workflow. It's also getting used to it in a sense of muscle memory, right? So becoming really fast, I've drawn a diagram before. Getting up until this point is fine, right? That's a couple of weeks. But every step here, it takes more time to get there. So to get to this efficiency, to get like 5% more efficiency here, it takes a lot more time, right? Than it does for that 5% efficiency here. This is, very little time. It's like up until here. Because it gets exponentially more difficult to save time. So in Ableton, I'm up here only because this period here, from here up until my beginning, was 6 years. In Bitwig, I've been doing it for now 4 hours plus, so 5.5 hours. Right, so there's a huge difference in terms of how comfortable I am in my workflow. And those last few percentages of efficiency, which when you look at it over a career of 6 years of making music, really adds up to a lot of time, especially in the last few years where I've been producing more and more and more. It adds up to a lot more time, and thus it's switching DAW loses you a lot more time than you think, because you don't take into account those little extra percentages that you improved over the last few years. The first year you always remember when you're using a new DAW. You always remember going from absolutely not knowing what you're doing to being slightly fluent in the DAW. But all of those things that come after that really takes your efficiency from decent efficiency into very high efficiency. That's often forgotten. Yeah, please someone donate just for the purpose of checking if Mindsby donation came through. Not for any other hidden motivations, okay? Just do it for him. I'll check if it's arrived again on my dashboard here. Because this one I can refresh. Still not here. It should go to my PayPal. Maybe it's on my PayPal, I can see. Make sure that my login doesn't show on the... I'll check if it came in here. It was on January 9th. Oh, I haven't received it here either. That's a bit of a thing. I didn't receive it in my PayPal yet either. It may just take some time for it to show up in my PayPal. There's two more dimensions: audience fun and creativity from new toys and tools. Well, for me personally, audience fun, I don't really care that much. At the end of the day, it's fun to see somebody be fluent in production more than it is for somebody to struggle in their own music writing process. Like, I'm sure my last stream, the first 1.5 hours, where I was just constantly remaking a synth that I didn't like until I went to the break and got that cool idea for the vocals. That's probably not fun to look at, right? Ableton was the last time in 2001. What the fuck have you been smoking? Ableton has been on top of the game, apart from the last 1.5 years, it has been on top of the game for like the last 5 years. It's been one of the 2 most consistently used DAWs. And in that time, they did some very innovative stuff. Like, audio warping in Ableton is unmatched. Every DAW has a strong point. Bitwig is very much into the modular workflow, right? With the grid, modulators, the way that it handles each different thing being its own like group, right? If I add a chorus or something, this becomes part of the chorus. I can add, I don't know, black hole plugin to that, I think. Isn't there a way to do that? With like the effect grouping? Turn this into like one thing, I believe. Here, this. Yeah, you can add it to here. And then this becomes part of the group and I can save this as a preset. And even more advanced than Reaper. I can imagine that in Reaper. Reaper's really about mixing. Right? Reaper, when you look at any drop-down window in Reaper, you always get 50 options of what you can do with the audio. So that makes it a very, very complex DAW. It's very wide in the range of applications that you can use it in. which means that a lot of the features that you actually want to access are hidden behind some kind of massive drop-down window, without you exactly being able to see what's going on. Yeah, the whole idea of racks came from Ableton Live. Bitwig didn't came up with that. It's something that they, for good reasons, copied from Ableton. In terms of innovation, it's Ableton that started it first. I think. Maybe not, maybe Ableton also got it from a different place. But Bitwig definitely didn't get it out of thin air. They definitely got it from Ableton. It's the old Ableton team, part of it. From Ableton 2006, 2007, and it wasn't even new then. No, but it was a much more limited piece of software. In the sense that Ableton, over the last 5 years, really have opened up for production. Maybe a bit longer now. Maybe, yeah, a little bit since like version 8. Version 9 was the real big upgrade when it came to Ableton. That's also when I switched, I think, around that time. When 9 came out. Maybe just before, just after. But that was the time that I switched. And that was really the point where Ableton started to focus more and more on production and less on live performance. Was popular for live performance. Yes, it's called Ableton Live for a reason. I am going to take a quick break and then we'll maybe do some more experimentation, that kind of stuff. For now, I'll just let this play out and I'll be right back. Nope. It is warping. I don't want you warping. No stretch. Leave the audio untouched. Oh, that makes it a lot. Wait, I can set the BPM here. Hello? Then make the clip length here. Sorry. Now it should be okay. See you guys in a bit.
guess I'm giving you a digital voice. I can speak for you. Machine's native language. But also, if you can't speak for yourself.
Okay, I'm back. Nice to see so many people here. Okay, everybody took over the chat as I see. With this project now, let's see if we can make something different. As I said, I just want to try it out. I have no plans of actually using Bitwig, so I don't care about things not being saved and stuff like that. What I want to do now is maybe try out a little bit of slower sidetrans. Psychedelic intelligence again. I want to try something. This is now warped, right? If I pitch it, stay like this. I need to set it. Thing. 5. Doesn't sound great. And it's just 2. It should be 40. I guess we can low pass it. That should be okay. Yeah, you can see that there's like a high peak in there. Something like this. I'll go to drum hits and get a kick. Extra fade. Can I edit the fade style? Is that possible? Like, are there different fade styles in here? Just 2 styles, I guess. I guess I can do it like this, and then it doesn't really fade. Just do a little bit. Hey, why do they... Okay. I consolidate this. Yep. Well. Down to it. I just want to arrange some. Let's unwarp this. Oh. It doesn't allow you to pitch it. Now then, does it? Or do I set it to repitch in order? Still doesn't work. How can I just make it so that it becomes shorter and it doesn't actually warp? If I like pitch it. Repitch is correct. Well, it doesn't unwarp it. Why not? It's not an E now, is it? so that doesn't show me. Resolution. There we are. Now I should be able to. Okay, so this should be C1. Yeah, that makes sense. It's not actually repitching it now. That's annoying. Why no repitch? Hey guys, anybody knows? I can just make it not scratch it. Bounce it again. Nope. Still in C. Still not doing it. You're not sure what I'm trying to do. What I want to do is I want this to just not warp. Right, just pitch it up and then the audio sample to actually become shorter as I pitch it. So basically none. Unstretched. And then have it pitch. Because it takes pitch from length. Then how do I change the length so that it becomes pitched? Do I do it in here? Pitch? Yeah, this is now at +5. Which is where I want it to be, but it's not changing. Hold Alt when resizing. I'm holding Alt, nothing is, it's not doing it. Yeah, this is not good. This cannot just be a demo feature, right? We need dash glitch in here. You have to set a different algorithm then. Yeah, but then it's going to use a pitch algorithm. I don't want it to use a pitch algorithm, I just want it to speed up the sample. Yeah, this doesn't change the length, it actually keeps the length. Which I don't want. I mean, it sounds decent, but I just wanted to keep the sample. You want to speed up the sample, then change the length with Alt. Okay, holding Alt. Ah. Then how do I calculate the actual speed? Now, what is it playing? Then I would need to calculate the actual length that I want to use. I think now it's right. Actually, by accident almost. I mean, this sounds cool. Oh yeah, you need to do the bottom half to duplicate. Funky, yeah. Sounds very cool. This is actually the kind of stuff that I maybe would work with. But obviously I cannot save it, so it doesn't really matter. This one also, I want this to be higher in pitch, so I need to press Alt and make it. And then I can pitch it up. Ah, because it's using the stretch mode then. If I go repitch. Okay, but then I can still not pitch it. That's very, very annoying. Or can I? Ah, I can change the tempo. Lower half. Okay, let's add some percussions to this. Where do we have percussions? Somewhere. Up today. Berk. Guess you could do something with this. Might be cool. We'll layer that with the bass. Extra grooveful. Again, I need to select at the bottom. Triple click is so annoying. Okay, I want to check the pitch of this. Snarling Black Mabel. Let's have a quick look. Loud and Domestic Remix by Hallucinogen. Is that the one that you want, Mind B? Or is there an original one that get a copyright claim if I actually play this? Let's not play this, I'm sorry. What I'll do if you're interested is I'll make it off stream and then send it to you. So the normal version then. I'll look into that and send it to you off stream, because I'll get a copyright claim if I play it on stream. I might actually already get a copyright claim with how much I played it. The YouTube algorithm is really annoying with that. Add an stereo effect here. I also want to see the key. EQ. Probably going to be off key. Sharp for both of them. Yeah. So all of these I want to edit mode sharp minus F sharp, and then again to go to E. Sounds terrible. Go back up with the format. Very sharp. ...1993 song, maybe copyright don't work anymore. Don't worry about it, it does work. If they can make money of my streams without doing actual work, they will. 100%. So they will try to hunt my copy or their copyright. And I mean, they are in the right. It is their copyright at the end of the day. It's not like the kind of copyright abuse that I get normally, where it's just me playing a kick and a bass and they just think that they own a kick and a bass. I specifically played their track. So I can understand that. Let's add an automation. Will be in the public domain until 50 years, I think. Unless copyright is prolonged. Disney really likes to make copyright longer than it needs to be. Let's keep this. Black hole on this. Oh, why is it not playing anymore? Very mono sounding right now. Yes. Is there a way to set width in black hole? Does anybody know? Size, depth of sync. No width here. There. Well, in that case, let's try to group it and then do normal layer. Can I just add an empty layer? Can I add nothing? Yes. Perfect. Okay. And in here you're gonna be fully wet. And oh my god, this hole here is so small. Guys, get to the right volume this way. This is 5. Okay, stereo. Stereo maker. Nice big stereo there. They're actually off timing, I see now. Want them to be in the right time, we need to do like crafty bit short. Nice long pre-delay. Gives it a nice washy-washy thing. But nobody wants to copy it, only to listen. Copyright doesn't work like that. I am reproducing the audio, therefore I am copying it. It doesn't matter if we don't want to listen to it. It's, at the end, copyright doesn't really take that into account. It will look like an Eclipse track with a million single one-shots, but he is a great producer. Yeah. I am getting a little bit of these vibes from that. It has a nice, deep kind of feeling that he would use. Maybe there's some more synths like this that we... Not this one. Let's go here and reverse. I want to know, how does reversing work in here? Because that's something that I use a lot in my productions. Can I just hit R? No. Transpose X. You set it to R button, but what is it normally? Like, it's not in here, unless I'm blind. Eyes in play. That. Auto fades, not in here. Auto. Length. Hidden in a separate menu in the toolbar clip. Clip. Go into. Why is that not part of the normal loop? This is sounding terrible. What's happening here? Let's check the key here. Analyzer huge. It's not gonna be in C, is it? Or in E. It is actually in E. It just sounds terrible. Okay. High end. Something like that, and we'll saturate it. Let's see what the saturator of Bitwig like. Quiet, loud. This it's symmetrical. Are these different for left and right? Why is there two different things? Allows for zero crossing, which is I actually don't want anything with. Hello, Hardwick. Hope you're doing well as well. Stupid, I know. Yeah, if I were to work in here in Bitwig, I would like to have reverse just in here. There's a dog barking somewhere. This is where I would expect the reverse to be. To be honest, I would just have it at R. Yeah, you would technically just set up a shortcut and you should be okay. Okay, let's make this stereo. I think one of the core ideas behind what eClip does is a lot of making things a lot more stereo. Okay. What I want to do with this is automate this here. So we go low right. What am I automating? No, this thing. Black hole mixture volume. 5, then go down up until here. If I remember correctly, Control duplicates this. Okay, so it doesn't reset there. I want it to be here then. Like this. That's aggressive. I can do something cool with this. Hey, why is this on a return track? Okay. Why are you on a return? Wait. If I put that to scratch, does that allow me to... No, that doesn't do what I wanted to do. Let's actually continue part here. Up until the read. Here we'll also take the same stereo maker and put it. Sounds terrible. No. Because of the stretching, I think. Okay, that sounds a lot worse. That sounds a lot better. We can add some reverb to this as well. And turbo verb. Oh, it doesn't find it. The search is too bad in here. You have to start with the very first word in the name. Otherwise it just doesn't recognize it. Which is not ideal. If I set it to scratch now, it still doesn't allow me to actually I don't know why it's not doing it. But I guess we'll never know. Please save it fast. Unfortunately, I cannot save it. Bit too much high end in here. Let's put all of these in a group. I'm not going to actually organize it too much. I just want to keep a little bit of space. Put our bass line together in a group. We'll put our drums together in a group. So now we have a nicer, take up less space. Thank you for the trolling, Mindbee. I appreciate that. Serum. Bandpass. And I'll set macro to this. That's a bit far. Let's go here. What I want to do is Control G, duplicate this. Here to open up. Convert this so. And then assign both of them to the same macro, I guess. Now, how do I make these appear? Like so, right? All the way up. One. Way up. This now should have two assignments. Right? Yes. Okay. Which means if we make a clip here. Where is it? I'll actually make something interesting and cool out of this, don't worry. I remember the demo. Also lots and lots of nice features, just or for me it seems to be pretty grindy, great to work for. Please everybody donate 25 euros and Projector can save this track. Unfortunately I have other things to pay before I can pay for Bitwig, but I would very much appreciate it if you guys were to support me financially. It would definitely not be the first thing I would buy, I have to say. Let's check here. Can I pan these individual things left and right? Devices pan. Tool pan. Be just a normal pan here. I think Bitwig should give you a license. It's in their interest. I would definitely take a Bitwig license if they were to, if they were to support me. Camera comes first. Yes, 100% I want a new camera, because the setup that I have now, it looks good right now in the stream. It's a little bit laggy. It's a little bit bad, but it just looks so dark, right? For the stream, it's okay. Right, if I go to full cam, you can actually see the quality. You can see that it's noisy and doesn't really look good, and I'm flat and it's not really nicely saturated. All of that stuff I cannot really fix unless I get just a camera with a bigger sensor. Wrong thing. Here we are. Yeah. Maybe just ask them. Maybe. Your genuine interest, maybe they would be interested. I would need to do so before I release my video on why I wouldn't use Bitwig, because I am still planning on doing that video. I guess I could just use these here, right? Yeah, this one goes then to the right 40. Which I guess is the way to do it. LFO tool. Oh, here we are going to have the problem with MIDI being sent here. Do you see that it's at 5? If I put it to 1, it jumps back to 5. We need a, what's it again? MIDI receiver? Mode receiver? And now it shouldn't change. This takes away any MIDI input that it gets. Check if Stream Elements is well configured. It is weird. Even if Stream Elements wasn't configured properly, it should show up in my PayPal. Oh. Yeah, it's still not showing in my here either. I don't know, man. It's not showing in my Stream Elements. It's not showing in my PayPal, which is where it's linked to. Not showing in viewer activity. No new chats or members yet. Yeah, if you didn't do it for super chats, then obviously it's not going to show here. Let's wait 2 more and let's, okay, thank you. Yeah, I will obviously check for it, because it should just work. It's unacceptable that stuff like that doesn't work. I want this to go node length here. Then I just want to duplicate or double. And we need to go in each. I hate that it's just also again something you would need to get. Slightly here. Here we set this to down here. Then we go back and forth, add a delay. Or ping pong, bit back a bit more. This. Okay, let's automate this. Ah, it's up here. Okay. Oh. Can I select just everything and just duplicate? Yes. We go here and set this to 8, 9, 10. It's 2. Up a bit. Maybe rewriting the sound and recording it to another DAW. Well, if I want to, I can just audio jack this. To be honest. Hey, why is this automation? Obviously, we want this to be. Hey, why is this also messed? We need an effect on here to announce the ending of sound there. Wait, where is everything? Ah, it's still searching. There we are. Maybe this. Verse. Again. Let's just do it once. Really nice song. It will be sad to lose this. Large has stereo asset line. That could be cool. To save that chain that loads fast, maybe verb and also delay chain with all kinds of macro mixing goodies. Yeah, but you can do the same thing in Ableton. That's not specific to Bitwig. I understand that you have that kind of opinion, right? And I do believe that it's very powerful. Again, if you are a beginner producer and you're starting out right now and you ask me which DAW should I start with, I would probably say Bitwig over Ableton. even though I do stuff in Ableton. Actually, very nice that we can save that space. It is just a better DAW with all of the little frustrating things that Ableton does. The plugin delay compensation, the other one, sandboxing, all that stuff. It's for a beginner much better to just not have to deal with that kind of thing, right? So if you were a beginner producer, I would definitely just say, okay, start with, you know, Bitwig over Ableton. But I would not say, for me personally, that making the switch is worth it. All of the things that I'm praising Bitwig for, I can just do in Ableton as well, in some sense. With disregarding the 1 or 2 occasions a month that a plugin crashes your project and that you actually lose some progress, there's not really any benefit for me to switch to Bitwig. To me, it just doesn't feel like... And that's because I am so experienced with Ableton. It has nothing to do with Bitwig. Apart from that, it's not really offering the features that make me say, yes, that's something that I want, right? It doesn't really convince me yet. Which is definitely what it should need to do. Have a big asset line in there. We can't, obviously this is overproduced right now. I would probably go like this. This. Maybe have a fill in here. Something like that. I'd like to have a ride, maybe at the start here. Drums. Ride. Queries in here. Right. I just want bits. And then I can set tempo to make you faster. If I set read pitch. Make bigger, please, or do I need? Oh. It doesn't show you what the fade is going to sound like unless you let go. There's another small detail of things that I wouldn't like. Here again we'll do have this double up. I'm starting to get used to the top part of a track doing different things than the bottom part of the track. It is something that does make sense, and to a sense Ableton does the same thing, except with like automation and non-automation selection. It's a little bit different, right? It is still the same kind of selection, but if you select the bottom, you just select automation lines that are on there and not the sound itself, so you can copy over automation lines very easily from one to the next. Like from one effect to a different effect, I can take the modulation from a synth filter cutoff and add it to the reverb amount of an atmosphere, right? There's no discrimination in parameters, you just need to select the right parameter. I don't think Bitwig has that much. Not in here, at least. Both. Oh, this already has effects on it. That's well, this cool effect-wise sounding, but I don't obviously. Oh. It's keeping some parts mono, actually. Let's quickly check here. There might be a setting in here that keeps... Yeah, but it's not on. That's strange. This automation should all reddish. Yeah, here we should delete these points because it's no longer playing. Can you link it? Yes. Yes, of course. We can have a listen. You can do feedback, but it's not stream aim. It's still okay. I'm still down to give some feedback as well. Give me 2 seconds. Where is it? Music you made. Let's have a listen. Ooh. Nice and big. Okay, so Psyfunk by Modfreak. I have to get used to Discord. Discord really isn't that hard to understand, especially my server. It's you just look into the community tab here and you just post it wherever you want. If you have a general topic to talk about, then you put it in here. If you need help with something, you put it in here. Technical stuff goes in here. If you have a resource that you would like to share, it goes here. I do sound design requests. You can get feedback. music you like. We discussed the kind of sidetracks that you enjoy listening to, music you made. This is usually for releases, not really for feedback, but that's okay. Stream stuff is everything that has to do with the stream, so last time it was used for challenges and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff in here. Ooh, this is sounding nice. It's in the same spirit as what we're doing here. To get used to liking it, yeah. I would say in some spots it's a little bit hard to find the groove. Mainly at like the start here. Really the same vibe. I like your use of vocals here. Ooh. Bit messy in the background. This is the acid line, I think. Sounds really cool. Nice and wide, maybe a bit too wide. Maybe the lower frequencies are going to be a bit messy on this bit. Also a bit covered by that other synth. Okay, I have one major criticism of this track. It's a brilliant idea. It sounds very, very cool. But what your problem is with this idea is that it's not staccato enough. You have a bunch of different ideas in here and a bunch of little small sounds, and they all kind of overlap, right? They're not really giving each other the breathing room to get the grooviness that you want. What I've been doing a lot with this production is, what you can see is splicing things up, making things short, defining exact areas where things need to play, taking off reverbs, that kind of stuff, right? All of that makes things sound very staccato, which means that it's much easier for the ear to hear what the groove is. It's not so much a structure problem. Overall, your structure is nice. I would prefer a few more fills in there maybe, but that's a minute detail. When you're switching from one idea to another idea, give the listener a little bit of time to prepare for the idea of the change, right? So for example, here we actually have a fill. I might make this fill even longer. Right now it's 1 bar. I would probably go for the next bar, or the next part have like 2 bars of fill, right? Remove all of this, remove all of the associated drums like this, and just have the synth continue to play, change up the synth a little bit, make some edits, some kind of that kind of stuff, that kind of feeling. But for the rest, the track is very nice. You just have to really control the space where you put each element. Right? If we like listen to the first part, it's not really clear what the groove is. And with a groovy bass line like this one in the first part here, you really want every other element to drive that groove home. You just have this synth kind of doing stuff on top, always changing. And it's really hard to follow the groove itself. This part is already better, but it can still be more staccato. Tak, 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 tak. Here I would play just the main synth, that main gritty synth right there. Not really have any of the other elements come through. Again, that enhances the groove more because we have to concentrate less listening to each individual element. This is a part where you just want the individual sound to come through. And then you go, when you go into that acid line, into the more complex stuff again. Again, thinking about just making space, right? That's really what would be my biggest criticism here. You can see when I go to like a main synth here, that I drop out all of the other elements so that we really have the space for this main synth to come through. Okay, there's this one, but maybe I'll even take that out again. Maybe we can keep that. We can layer a few elements on top of this. But you have to learn. Yeah, I mean, that's how you experiment, right? That's how you learn, by just doing things. Hopefully the kind of feedback that I give actually allows you to put it in practice. Maybe not for this track, maybe for the next one. But hopefully it's something that helps you. I'll also refresh my dashboard again. It's still not showing me the donation. This is weird. Back in here. It would have also shown up on my overlay, right? Still at 0. Still my PayPal is at the same thing. Very annoying. I'm sorry. I'll have to figure that out why it's not actually working. Like, did it come through on your end, on your, like, PayPal or whatever you use to donate? Vulnerability to save is actually a feature that allows you to do things differently. It's definitely something that allows me to be a bit more creative, because I know that it's a track that's never going to become part of Projector, right? It's too much if I listen to you the track before Where Is My Place. No, sure. We can go for that. This one. Let's see. I'll lower the volume a bit on my end here. Let me know if it's too loud. Then I can turn it down, obviously. It's definitely a unique mindset, knowing that what you're making is not going to last after the session. The choir sounds good. I would use a different library if you can. Maybe a bit of a better Contact library.
It's a sort of mapping that allows you to say, this is who I am, this is when I live.
We joke about making electronic music, but it's not ready yet.
It's the sort of universe.
It's a very nice intro. It's a bit too long.
But that's a very powerful way of thinking about who you are.
Could have a few more different things happening. Although right now we have that ARP in there. chords is Epic Chords Library. It's not like a Contact Library or something, or an Omnisphere thing. Because those are really good for choir. Ooh. I feel like the other elements are slightly overpowering the kick and bass. Kick and bass could be a bit louder in my opinion. Am I the only one that hears that? I do like the overall composition, yeah. Kick and bass really don't have the kind of strength that I'm looking for, to be honest. 1 or 2 dB more. Also here, in this part, you need to have a fill. You need to quickly or have it slow down a little bit, 1 or 2 bars I would go for, and just take out the kick and bass before you go into the kick and bass low pass. The reason for that is that's long, or it's a big change. 1, the kick and bass changes. 2, there is a change in the main element. It goes from the squelchy thing back into like the choir chords thing. Our ears need to get used to that, and so we have the need for a little bit of like a transition period, right? What I'm doing here, where I'm going from one type of element to the other. What I'm going to do here if I go to the next element, potentially. I don't even know if I'm going to work on this track some more. But I hope that you get the point. We need that little space where the kick and bass just goes away, gives a little bit of space to whatever fill elements that you have, and then we go back into the next part of the track. What's happening? That's strange. We can do some more feedback. If anybody else wants feedback, I can do that. At this point, I would say in the track you just have a little bit too much going on. They're all nice sounds, but they don't really work that well together, and it's just a little bit too much, in my opinion. You can get a lot more power out of that acid line if the acid line really takes center stage and you don't have multiple synths fighting for the same main element idea, right? Because the sound is really good. That acid line really has that nice grittiness, the nice high end that we want out of our main acid line. But it's being covered up by all of the other elements also occupying all of the same space. In terms of volume, in terms of compression that there is on, in terms of using the full spectrum, in terms of not really having that much reverb, in all of those things. What you're missing in this track, in my opinion, is distinctions in levels, and this is something that I give a lot as feedback because it's really, really hard to nail. You need to have kick and bass, 1 main element, if you're making this type of sentence, 1 or 2 main elements, and then supporting elements. You don't want to cram all of your elements into the same second layer, which sits below kick and bass and drums and stuff like that. You want to have a third layer, which is all of your backing synth, and then a fourth layer, which are all of your risers, downlifters, smaller effects. And then your second layer is either one main synth, two main synths, which are like alternating and not playing on top of each other most of the time. You can have it play on top of each other every once in a while, but usually you want to keep them like fairly well separated. And that's also the layer where all of your vocals live, your vocal shouts, because vocals have this interesting property that when we listen to vocals as humans, we immediately try to understand them in our mind. We are able to distinguish sounds which are voices and which are not voices, because obviously looking at evolution, that was really necessary. Understanding when somebody was talking to you, when somebody was communicating with you, even if it's like singing or choir or stuff like that, we really, as humans, try to pick out like voices. So you need to make sure that in the mix we're able to do that. And this is the reason why this is hard, is because when you listen to your project, when you're mixing it, you know exactly what is in your project. You have heard every sound soloed and upfront in the mix when you were making the project. And you know how the project progressed over the 20, 30, whatever many hours that it is that you worked on it. But the general listener doesn't, right? The general listener has never heard your project when it was bare bones. It has never seen the structure of your project. So that really hinders you when you're mixing. That is also the reason why I remix all of my stuff in Reaper, and specifically why I export everything normalized, which is a huge setback because I have to redo all of the volumes. But what that means is that I'm no longer in my production mindset. I have not listened to the track in 1 or 2 months. That's also kind of a rule that I give me, is that when I'm going into the mixing stage, I'll leave at least a couple of weeks of time where I just don't listen to the track. And then I come back and I set individual volumes for all of the elements so that I'm really uninfluenced by the project as it originally was. I recently go to a Psytrance party for the first time and I understood that kind of things, but I need to apply it. Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard. It's, in my opinion, it's what separates professional from like semi-professional tracks, right? I often get, and I've talked about this before, even with theming, one of the important parts of theming is, again, that you have a main element and sub-elements, and not just a bunch of main elements all trying to combat each other. I hear it all the time. It's not something to say that you are doing wrong, because everybody starts doing it like that way. We all want a whole bunch of cool sounds in our Psytrance track and all play them all together. Do side producers mono the low end? No, they never make it stereo. Your whole bassline should be mono, apart from maybe a mid-range layer, but you sound design it in a way that bass never becomes stereo. So it is mono to begin with, if you're doing things correctly, right? Any stereo layer that you apply to your bassline should be high-passed, which in fact, yeah, that makes things more mono, because you're removing all of the lower frequencies from there. But your main bassline should never become stereo to begin with. Here again, the few elements fighting for the same space. Also a bit too loud in regards to the kick and bass. But I bet many side parts play in stereo. No, they play in mono, I think. I'm not an expert on that kind of thing, but I don't imagine that you want to deal with stereo elements in a field, because then your position really determines how you listen to the music and you get some kind of phase cancellation. But there's a lot of stereo effects inside. Yeah, but I think those get bounced to mono anyway. Also here, I think the bass is a bit too much of a gallop bass, where it's like pum pa pa pum pa pa pum pa pa pum, that kind of thing. I think you want it to be more like a normal rolling bass line. I've been to many parties with stereo systems. Actually, yeah. Because the number one thing, the very first thing that I learned when we were in university, or I'm still in university, when we went to university for the lesson about like speaker systems, there was what's it called? A seminar from speaker builders who do like big concerts. They did like, I think Rammstein even, but big bands all over Italy. They did like the setup and everything, and they said one of the important things is to make sure that your bass line, especially, but also even your mid-range and stuff like that, is in mono. Mono is used because if you use stereo, you're always going to have the problem of everything sounding differently depending on your position in the venue. I was actually sharing non-finished tracks. Well, that's a good thing, because I hope then my feedback can actually help you progress this track. Here the melody becomes a little bit too chaotic, I think, with all of the pitch bending going on and all of the variations. I think generally you just want a loop of like 1 bar or 2 bars here, just playing continuously, and then have the filter cutoff come up, have reverb amount come up, have delay amount come up, have a little bit of high pass in there, maybe add a slap delay that comes in, have a chorus that comes in. That's how you add movement to your sound, not through that many variations, personally, I would say. Because really, when it comes to psytrance, you create that trance by having a driving rhythm, and by having the melody continuously do the same thing, that's what drives the rhythm. I think that would sound a little bit nicer if you were using a few less variations. You can have a variation at the end of every 8 bars or something like that to still keep it spicy. But a good example of that is, where are my files? Track that we worked on in the last stream, right? Which is this one here. I hope you get. Hello? There it is. In here, there's this acid line, right? Oh, it's gonna change the tempo. Here you can hear the S line every 8 bars there's a variation. Something like that I would do it. I think 145 is the actual BPM of this track. Now there's also other effects on top of that, obviously. Another good example of this idea is, I think, here. You also have that bass rhythm that's always the same, but there's a variation. I have a friend that makes all stereo kick bass, etc., and at low end in it, annoying in its tracks. Yeah, I would agree that that's not the best approach. 100%. I need to set this back to 130. Not that it matters. I'm not going to stream for much more. Yeah, I'm probably going to call it in a bit. What I can do is a bit more feedback if you guys are into that. If anybody else wants to post anything, then I can do that. Otherwise, I am going to finish it here because I have some other things that I need to take care of. Mainly editing the masterclass. As always. It's almost done. Almost done. I've not seen Collective Intelligence in a while. Yeah, he's been a little bit under the radar. I think he still streams every once in a while, doesn't he? We should be able to see that. Oh, they changed the font again. 5. Oh, it's been 8 months since he posted. Wow. I hope he's doing okay. I might shoot him a message to see what's going on with him. I'm tempted to share, but I don't have any track that is on this standard. Don't worry. I'm here to help people get to a higher standard, in my opinion. If you want to make use of that, then you can post it. If not, then obviously you don't have to. I'm not trying to force you to do anything like this. But if you feel like you want a little bit more inspiration or you need an idea on where to go next with a track, then I'm glad to help. That's what I'm here for. Post the track. Nice, nice. Wait for a little bit more stuff. There we have a Klaus track. Equinox. Okay. Yeah, very old school vibes. I like it. Give me 2 seconds here. Can I get an empty audio track and take input from... Oh. Control audio, take inputs externally. No, right? There's no external input in here anywhere? Because then I can pull up analyzers quickly, because I feel like I'm hearing some weird stuff in the low end. I mean, I guess I could just open Ableton for this quickly. I could share a really intense high-tech I made in the Ableton trial. Yes, please. High Energy Music, how are you doing? Nice to see some new people here. That's a name that I haven't seen, I think. Let me quickly check if this is. I guess the normal spectrum. I believe I hear some weird rumbling in the low end. your kick and bass isn't as clean as it could be. Your bass line looks a little bit messy here, overall. It has a bit of a techno kind of vibe, but for techno you really need to be a little bit more precise in the type of control that you have over like your sub when you do like sub rumble. And I feel like it's a little bit uncontrolled here in this case. Yeah, if you still need to finish it, then obviously this is something to look for. But overall, the idea of having kind of a rumble bassline and that kind of stuff combined with the old tricks of Goa is a really cool thing. And the rest of the mix sounds very cool. It's just your low end. Just for laughs. Nice. We'll have some laughs here. Really good work with the melody evolving here. It's a little bit different in the way that Mind B did it. It's the same idea of having an evolving melody, but here every time the melody builds on what it did before.
Twice a year, day and night, along the balance. Last night were nearly equal lengths.
It references the same idea over and over again. Ooh.
Twice a year, day and night, along the balance. Last night were nearly equal.
Very clear indication of what the main element is here. Now it's already taken away a little bit and you mix those other elements slightly down. But overall, yeah.
Last night were nearly equal lengths. Last night were nearly equal lengths.
High energy music, if you also want to post it, I can give it a crack as well. Maybe give you a few tips and tricks on your mix as well. Exclamation point Discord if you're not in the Discord yet.
Twice a year, day and night.
Now Mod Freaks' jacks are showing up here.
Last night were nearly equal lengths.
I should be following you guys. That's not nice of me not to.
Twice a year. Day and night.
Here again, there's a little bit of an issue in terms of balancing of elements all trying to fight for the same main space. But the ideas are definitely there. Right? Having a little rebalance will just take this track to the next level. And then it's professional quality. If you fix your balancing between main elements and sub elements, and you fix your wonky bassline, then this track is done, dude. After that, you hit publish and you're finished. I feel like the Equinox sample could have more oomph, effects, delay, whatever. Maybe. I wouldn't do too much to it, to be honest. Just a sec, joining the Discord. I might bring back just full-on feedback streams. I like this. I like giving people tips. And when people are open to it, it's always very nice to do. Here we have a lack of kick and bass. Let me check what your synths are doing when you have no bass in there. Because I feel like maybe there's a bit too much like lower mids when they're on their own. Yeah. There's a lot of rumble in your synths here. You want to obviously remove that for the kick and bass to really take up that space. That might be also contributing to the mess in your low end here. Also with those vocals, it's the same thing that Mind B had. Vocals, you have to be very careful in the mix that they have the exact right space, right? You don't want them to be too overpowering, but you do want them to be understandable. This last vocal, I could not understand what he was saying, and that poses a problem because your mind is really trying to do that. And it's something that I have issues with as well. If you go to my album and listen to track 9, Live Experience, the vocals in there don't really sound great, and it makes it harder to understand what is actually being said, and sometimes that stresses me a little bit. But it's important that vocals really have, even if it's in reverse, we're trying to feel like we want to understand what is being said. If we find out that we cannot actually understand what is being said, if it's like vocal chops or in this case in reverse, we want to be able to hear that it's doing that and not saying something that we cannot understand. So they do need to be up in the forefront. What I said still holds true. If you fix your stages or your layer levels, kick and bass, main elements, backing elements, other effects elements and stuff like that. If you get those 4 layers in your mix and you fix your kick and bass, then this is an absolute banger. That's all I would change here. Very nice production. Overall, there's almost kind of like a magical flow through it all, in the sense that all of the synths work well together and they are laid out very, very nicely. There's a few places where I would say that you maybe have the track a little bit too busy. But again, if you fix the mix, then that might not be a problem. Great production. We have Wave-like here, Wave Morpher. Next one. This. Or maybe not a quick listen, it's 9 minutes. Resonant vibrations. There's a key change, isn't there? Goes from like to like it's slightly off key, mate. Great job on the soundscape, by the way. Few kick and bass issues, I would say, maybe. Your low end is a bit of a mess. But when it comes to production, very nice. The sea of elements that you create. Obviously, this is what high-tech is all about. Still a private track, so I'm assuming that you're still working on it. But you said it was like a meme thing, maybe? Not so serious, right? Didn't you? No need for serious feedback, just for laughs. Well, I would like if you would finish this. This is definitely the kind of silence that I'm into sometimes. I would add this to my high-tech playlist if you were to publish this on SoundCloud. Or not SoundCloud, Spotify. That's where I have my playlists. Definitely. It's like flickering, by the way. Also a bit more stereo play on some of these swoops and stuff like that. I have just one band a little bit left and the other band a little bit right. Because I think there's two in there anyway, so it should be fairly easy to do that. Fairly mono. What if I take away the bass? How mono is it then? Just concentrate on like the mid-range stuff. Still maybe a bit too mono. Now we have one sound that's like panning around. That's what I like. Also keep in mind this is MP3 export. You can see that it's missing high end. This was a wave we would get nicer, crispier high end. That's because export type. High Energy also sent something. Nice to see you show up in the Discord. Did he? No, he didn't say anything. Came in here. Nice switch to triplets. This is great. You should finish this, definitely. Nice. Very nice synth. All of this with operator. Wow, that's dedication. This hump is maybe a bit too omnipresent here, this frequency. With that one synth for sure. There was like a big spike there. And some stuff using iPad ads. That's a great way to produce on the iPad. Very vibey here, very divided. This is the kind of spacing that I'm talking about. You can hear one element come in, then it's like flowing out, and then the next one comes in. Nice division between the elements. 100%. When the vocal starts doing thing, the other synth just kind of slows down a little bit. I don't know if you guys see it, but it's flickering on my screen. I think that's an OBS issue. Overall, I would say one of the things here is that your hi-hats and your percussions don't really peak through the mix. Right? You really want to have... Psytrance is known for its overly bright percussions, because that works well in the club. You know, that brightness. So actually Psytrance, technically, if you look at it from like white noise mixing or pink noise mixing, I think is the right one. If you look at it from pink noise mixing point of view, the hi-hats are actually too bright for the pink noise reference, right? That's usually how it's done in Psytrance. But that's kind of the style. And I think you are underdoing your hi-hats here. I think even for high-tech, if you listen to other tracks, you'll get a much more brighter, more aggressive kind of feeling out of your like main percussions. Just louder in volume, but also just brighter with the EQ. If you want a quick tip for that, a great free plugin for brighter hi-hats is LBJ Key Lufticus. I've shown this off many times. You can go to 40k and then 4 to around 6. That kind of area usually gets you that nice airy brightness. What 40k does is it boosts 40k, which is obviously higher than any audible frequency, but it rolls down into like 20k up until like 10k, something like that. And that gives you a very nice air kind of band almost. Never heard of pink noise as a reference. Interesting approach. Yeah, so it doesn't work for Psytrance. It works for a lot of different... It works for a lot of different like genres, but for Psytrance we have that overly bright hi-hat. Also techno has that. May I post a track of mine on Discord as well? Of course, go for it. If it's finished, put it in music you made. If it's not finished, put it in feedback. That's the only requirement that I have. We'll finish listening to this first. Mind Impact pre-release with trippy visuals. Nice. Just got too overwhelming. Well, you're not far off. There's a few mixing things. But overall the balancing is there. It's really your kick and bass that you should look into. The nice staccato kind of kick and bass that high-tech is known for. And then your overall spectrum, as I said, with the hi-hats just not being bright enough in the slightest. You usually want the hump up here, right? Like that, if you look at the spectrum. We'll take a listen to the high energy music track and then That will be it for here. Then I'll finish the stream. There's a strange transient on that baseline. The end. Click it again for me. I saw that you guys didn't see it. But you can see it on my camera. You can see the darkness on my camera, that's for sure. Because that is going to pick it up because my monitor flickers. Right? Does that show? I think that shows. There, and then we'll Mind Impact. That will be the last track that we'll listen to. Ooh. Go HD on this. Get some nice trippy effects. How did you make this? This is also synchronized. Don't tell me that my internet is not good enough to watch the HD version here. Apparently. I'm sorry I cannot do it full HD. Still looks very cool though. That is really trippy. How did you make this? Music was produced in live. I think with this production, there is a little bit too much going on in terms of melody. Mainly that pad that comes in and out. This is a nice part. Right, not that much variation, really allows you to get that trance feeling. I maybe should have said that epilepsy warning before it. Mix is good, nice kick and bass, yes, 100%. It sounds good overall. In some parts the melody is just a little bit too complex, because then it doesn't really have that trance feeling of driving the same idea over and over again. In my opinion. It's very reactive though, this. Here it's the same idea with that guitar. If you just took a 1-bar loop or 2-bar loop and just repeated that over and over again, it gets much more of a trance feeling of driving the idea over and over again in your mind. I know it's upstairs. I'm gonna get a copyright claim for that guitar loop. What's the popular song that I'm thinking about? That does this melody, almost. Yeah, it's constantly changing. The sound design is on point, the mix is on point. The only thing that you need to work on is getting that trancey, drivey feeling from your melodies, not having a melody that is constantly different. Also, yeah, maybe the guitar could have used a bit more stereo. I tried to have some variations, so I didn't use short loops. Yeah, I understand that you would maybe want to do that, but you're variating a bit too much. Like what you have is, you have a 1 bar idea, every bar for 8 bars, and then you loop it again. Usually what is done, for example, is that you have 1 bar, repeat 3 times, and then a slight variation on that bar the 4th time, and then you repeat that like 4 times to get to your 16 bar loop, right? Or maybe you have 7 times the same idea over half a bar, and then the 8th time the slight variation, right? It's always a slight variation on what is before there, just to kind of mess with your head a little bit almost. It doesn't need to be a significant change, just a slight change of 1 or 2 notes in the ARP or whatever you're using. As Mind B says, Psytrance need to be hypnotic, but it's not a bad track. I totally agree here. It misses that element of reinforcing the same music idea over and over again. Now it has it. This is a bit of a crazy sound, that noisy one. Especially for the visuals, it needs to be more trippy, because these visuals are really extreme. Really cool how you did it. Here again, cool sounds, a little bit too much variation. Which is the story of the whole track here. Maybe also at some point a few more fills where you pause the kick and bass a little bit, so that when you transition to a new element, there's a little bit of space to prepare the listener for the change that is coming. I think that's also where this track is lacking a little bit. The kick and bass just keeps going on and on and on, and there's no break in it whatsoever. So maybe 1 bar, maybe 2 bars at some point. Really, when you're changing from one element, from one style to the next, where you should do that. Nice filtering on the kick and bass as well. Bit of resonance on there. Suddenly the whole thing changes color at the end. Really cool. Great visuals as well. I really like that. Thank you. Thank you guys all for giving us or giving me the tracks to listen to. I like doing that as well. As I said before, I might just do a track or a stream where it's just feedback. So maybe. Okay, so next Sunday is challenge. The Sunday after that, I am not going to be here, so I cannot stream. Then it's the birthday of my grandpa, so I'll be back in the Netherlands to meet with him and celebrate his birthday. But maybe at some point after that, I'll find some time to actually do like a full feedback stream, and then we'll just listen to maybe hopefully like 10, 12 tracks, something like that, and I'll really dedicate some time to each track to maybe be a little bit more proper in my explanations, maybe give some examples in the DAW as well. But I'll have to see if I have the time for that and if I get enough submissions as well. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. It's a really good stream. There was a lot of people chatting, which I always enjoy. In fact, I don't think I can scroll up to the beginning of the chat, which is always a good sign. That means I had a lot of fun chatting with me, which is always one of the reasons why I do these streams is, interaction. Always like that. So yeah, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. There's going to be a next one next Sunday, which will be a challenge. Maybe I'll even do a stream before that. In the meantime, I still need an idea for the challenge. So if you have an idea, go in my Discord, hashtag stream stuff and post it there. It can be a sample that you want us to work with. It can be a specific type of challenge that we can do. The only requirement is that it cannot break copyright rules. So no remakes, no working with existing material or tracks. It has to be, its own thing, because otherwise I'm going to get in trouble with copyright system. That's the only requirement. If you think you have something that might be interesting for the challenge, I'm still looking for something. If not, Saturday night I'll make something up on the spot and I'll find some cool sample, make some cool stuff myself, and see if we can make something from that. But that's going to be it. Good night, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys will be here for the next one. Bye-bye. See you guys.